Here's an overview I want you to pay attention to. So basically, you have to put to your the principal business activity. So in box A, and B, you have to put the principal product or service, and the business code number here. So in our case, you have a 61430, 611430, and you have to put the year that this applies to, 2023. And we're talking about January 1st through December 31st. So we have a normal fiscal year here. And you have to put the name of the partnership. So you put the partnership, you put the street address, the zip code, everything, okay? And the employer identification number, so the EIN, and the date the business started, and also the total asset the business has currently. And so that's actually F. Now we're moving on to G. So you have to put, this is an initial return and a final return. So this is kind of fine. And you have to check the accounting method. So you have cash, accrual, or other. You can have a hybrid. You can have a hybrid or any other type of accounting method. But for purposes of for this exercise, we chose accrual. And you have to put the number of schedules K1 that's they are attached to this form 1065. So we put here 10. And if there are some Schedule C and M3 attached, also we have to check. You have to check the box on line J, and here on line K. Line K is not applicable to us, so we did not actually check that. And one thing I want to say here is that so income, in the income section, things are pretty straightforward. So we put gross receipts or sales less returns and allowance. So this gives us net receipts. So we have 1 million. Cost of goods sold, we have 600,000. Gross profit 400,000, and ordinary income or loss from other partnerships. This here, line 4, we have 100,000, and from line 4 all the way through line 8, the total amount here is half a million. Okay, so that's for actually the income part. Then you have the deduction, the expenses part. So you have salaries and wages 9, guaranteed payments to partners 10. Repairs and maintenance 11, bad debts 12, rent 13, taxes and licenses 14, interest 15, okay, and if there is depreciation 16. So you have to put it there to sort of explain. One thing I want to show you on the screen here, the business activity code. So this is important for you to actually specify which back business activity code applies to your specific situation. So first, a screenshot. Then we have the second screenshots. I'm also showing you here form 1128, 1125A. This is cost of goods sold. I'm just showing you how the forms looks like. So yeah. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. Before I move on to the next session, I want to tell you that when we talk about Form 4797, this is about sales of business property. So we are speaking about, you want to talk about the description of the property, the purchase date, the sale or transfer, or the date, the cost of purchase, and the gross sales price. Now let's move on to the following sequence here. So deductions. So we have line 17, depletion. There's nothing. Retirement plans, you put the amount that really corresponds. Employee benefits, energy efficient commercial buildings, deduction. So if this applies to you, don't forget to attach form 7205. It's a straightforward form, nothing really complicated here. And if there are other deductions, you have to put it as well. But you have to actually contextualize those deductions. In other words, the IRS wants you to provide an explanatory statements, so everything is clear for the agency as well. So when you add everything from all the line 9 all the way through line 21, you actually get $257,000. Okay. And so the ordinary business income here is actually 243, because remember, when you deduct, I want to quickly show you the first form so you have a clear idea. Can we please show this on the screen here? We're going to show actually the top of the form, so you can see that basically here, line 8, the total income or loss is $500,000, right? Line 8. $500,000. So when you subtract $500,000, when you subtract actually now we're going back to the bottom part of the form. So when you subtract 257,000, line 22. From line 8, you get in 243. Okay, 257 minus, 500,000 minus 257, that's 243. And the bottom line is the tax and payment section. So you have the total balance due, 43,000, because there is a delta, right? And when you actually look at the amounts here, you owe a certain amount. And so the amount owed, we actually have 5,000. So here you have to really specify how you want to pay that amount. And you put, at the bottom, you put also, if there is a paid preparer, you have to put the amount as well. I mean, the amount, the information. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about Form 1065. I want to show you other ancillary schedules that really come with Form 1065. So we have a clear idea what we're speaking about. I want to first talk to you about Schedule B. So Schedule B actually talks about other information. So here we chose the appropriate section, choose it. So here we chose to be a domestic limited liability company, so domestic LLC. In your case, if this is different in your case, you have to put the appropriate information. And also basically we put no for, all the way to the bottom. The next section here is that here the IRS is collecting a series of data about your form. So again, when we talk about Form 1065, basically you can be a partnership, you can be an LLC, you can be a lot of things. You can be an S corporation. You can be a partnership or an LLC that wants to file as a corporation, as a partnership rather, because the Form 1065 is for partnerships. Okay, Form 1120S is for S corporation, and Form 1120 is for C corporation. So we just answered a yes, no to some of the questions here. Pretty self-explanatory, and the only thing we put here yes is that you are actually the partnership is not filing and is not required to file Schedule M3. Now, if you have any question about Schedule M3, please let us know in the comment section down below, and one of our team members will get back to you and answer all questions that you may have about Schedule M3. So because everything has to be linked to your specific situation, so we want to give you a particular guidance so you have a clear idea of what you need to do in your. Moving on, we have Schedule B once again here. So everything here on page 3, I put everything no. We put everything no. Now the only thing is line 16, where it says, did you make any payments in 2023 that would require you to file Form 1099? We put yes. So because, so if yes, did you or will you file the required Form 1099? Yes. So you got to really, this is actually your compliance with tax laws, but otherwise, anything else, you just have to put no. Moving on to the next file here. So same thing here. So from line 23 all the way to line 29, basically all questions that were asked here do not apply to us. But again, if anything applies to your situation, or if you have any question, or comments about this particular section of the Form 1065, let us know in the comment section. We'll get back to you. Moving on, we have a Schedule B. So Schedule B here, basically it says other information. This is page 4, right? And line B, we put no. Line 30, we put no. Line 31, we put no. So you can see that basically everything does not apply to, most of the other things do not apply to our situation. But again, it's one of those things where the IRS is trying to collect data, so they have a clear idea which type of partnership they are dealing with. And if any is applicable to your situation, please mark yes, okay? And we did not mark yes because they did not apply to us, especially because for the interest of time, in the sake of time here, we just want to make sure that we go straight to the gist of this form. And then if you want to designate a partnership representative, then you want to put the name of the PR. PR stands for partnership representative. And you have to put the name, you have to put the address of that PR, you have to put the phone number where the IRS can contact the person. And so, yeah, it's one of those things where you have to understand that the IRS, if they have more information they want to ask, then they have to reach out to you. So long story short, when we talk about Form 1065, we are actually talking about a form that is filed by partners. I mean, not partners, partnerships, but also the form itself is not paying taxes. You don't pay taxes at the company level. You pay taxes at the individual level. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about Form 1065. What is it and how to actually file it? Next, I want to show you the net income loss reconciliation for certain partnerships. That's actually the Schedule M3. So if you remember earlier, I was just telling you that we are not required to file Schedule M3, but I still wanted to show you anyway, so you have a clear idea what the Schedule M3 looks like, so that at least you have an idea. And so you have Part 1, Part 2, and so you have financial information. So we're speaking about, so Schedule M3 is basically a reconciliation of the net income. You remember, when you actually file taxes, there is a difference between your U.S. GAAP income and your tax income. So the IRS just wants to make sure that the information reconciles at the end of the day. Okay. And so moving on here, we have a Schedule K. So here you have the partners distributed share items. So you can see that from line 1 all the way through line 15A. So line 1, you have the ordinary business income, the gross income. You have so you have other net rental income. So you have, so here I am on 3C, and line 8, you have 5,000 deductions. So this is the net short-term loss. This actually has to reconcile with Schedule D of Form 1065. And next, section 1231 loss. Here you have to attach Form 4797. It's one of those things where you have to justify everything. You have to contextualize everything. And when we talk about deductions, if you have Section 179 deductions, you have to attach Form 4562. Next here, in terms of from line 17A all the way through line 21, there is nothing to report here. We're still showing this to you anyway, so you have a clear idea how things look like. And so here we have the analysis of net income, loss per return. So this is basically a clear idea. So, and then we have Schedule L. So Schedule L actually relates to the balance sheet per books versus balance sheet per taxes. So there's a reconciliation here. We're going to put this on the screen so you can see how things look like. Instead of me actually going through everything, we're going to put this on the screen for a few seconds so you have a clear idea. So this is a normal balance sheet. So we're talking about the assets and the liabilities and the equity of the partnership. And then here we have Schedule M1. So Schedule M1, basically you have the reconciliation of income loss per books with analysis of net income loss per return. This is for Schedule 1. And Schedule M2, Schedule M1, Schedule M2, you have analysis of partner's capital account. So this is when we talk about difference between U.S. GAAP income and taxable income, this actually, or even balance sheet information for that matter, you are talking about deferred tax assets and deferred tax liabilities. Okay, anytime you have a difference, a temporary difference, because those are temporary differences between tax amounts and U.S. GAAP amounts, you have deferred tax assets and deferred tax liabilities. So schedules M1 and M2 are shown here for information purposes. So if you have any question, let us know in the comment section below. And filling those two schedules will require too much information and too much time that we don't have for this video. I want to quickly talk to you about Section 754, election and revocation. This is an important element when you want to revoke certain things on Section 754. First of all, when we talk about Section 754, what's really the benefit of the election? Well, the thing is that an IRS Section 754 election allows a partnership to adjust the basis of the property within a partnership under the sections 734 and 743, and 734B and 743B, when one of two triggering events occur. So you have a distribution of partnership property or certain transfers of a partnership interest. So this adjustments can only be made if the partnership has made an election under RC Section 754. So bottom line here is that you have to really understand that it really works in your situation under certain situations. under certain circumstances rather. And you might also have to actually use Form 1042S to report amounts paid to foreign persons from U.S. sources that are reportable under Chapter 3 or 4, regardless of whether withholding was required or not. Amounts withheld under Chapters 3 and 4. Specified federal procurement payments subject to withholding under Section 5000C, and certain payments subject to Section 877A. Certain distributions by publicly traded trusts, qualified investment entities, and publicly traded partnerships, and payments to foreign sellers of certain partnerships' interests subject to IRC 1446. So bottom line here is that you have to really see what really works in your situation. And you also have, in some cases, Form 8938. So I'm just showing you a few items that you might have to file in conjunction with Form 1065. So when we talk about another form, for example, we have Form 8938. This is actually a statement of specified foreign financial assets. And so you want to use the Form 8938 to report your specified foreign financial assets if the total value of those assets in which you have an interest is more than the appropriate reporting threshold. And you also have another form that's actually Form 8990. So this is a limitation on business interest expense under Section 163G. And so those, if they're applicable to you, you might have to report them as well. So when we talk about Form 1065, you have to understand that there are certain steps you need to follow for you to actually have a clear idea. So let me give you those steps here. Number one, you want to gather information needed to file Form 1065. And it's one of those things where you have to have a clear idea in terms of what really works for you. First of all, the information and reports needed to prepare Form 1065 for a partnership include P&L statement. So here we're speaking about the income statement. So this summarizes the partnership's income and expenses for the tax year and calculate the bottom line net P&L. So again, but this is prepared in compliance with US GAAP, okay, in accordance with US GAAP. So United States generally accepted accounting principles. So you have balance sheet statements. So here you have financial statements that summarizes the assets, liabilities, and the owner's equity at the end of the year. Again, everything I'm showing you here, those are prepared in accordance with US GAAP. Now there has to be a reconciliation between what you're preparing for US GAAP, but also what you actually got through the tax like when you actually declare on your tax form. So those differences must actually trigger, deferred tax assets and deferred tax liabilities, as I said earlier. And one thing I want to say here is that, when you actually gather everything, like number of partners, the accounting method, the principal product or service, the distributions made to partners, Form 1099 reporting requirements, fixed asset purchases, fixed asset sales, for instance, that's the first step. The second step is you need to fill out Form 1065 general info section. So we're speaking here about things like name of the partnership, address of the partnership, the principal business activity and business code, federal EIN, date the business started, and the accounting method. And the third step is you need to fill out Form 1065 income and deductions sections. Those forms are important. And the step 4, you need to fill out Form 1065 Schedule B. Schedule B allows you to do a lot of things. I think we have gone through that before, so now you understand what Schedule B stands for. And also you have Schedule K. So Schedule K is important in terms of telling the IRS what all the partners actually owe. Step 6, you need to Step 6, you need to fill out Form 1065 Schedule L balance sheet. Step 7, complete analysis of net income or loss per return. Step 8, you need to actually fill out Form 1065 Schedule M1. So this is kind of important. Step 9, you have to fill out the Schedule M2 also. And step 10, you have to fill out Form 1065 Schedule K1 for each partner so that the IRS has a clear idea how the income was distributed. So pretty straightforward. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. Into this conversation, let's do a quick recap here. So I give you the overview, and then I give you the steps, and now I'm doing the recap. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.